don't want to do it.
It's your turn.
Nuh-uh, it's your show.
Look.
Host, co-host.
No, host, co-host.
You're the host. You founded the show.
You've been gone for 3 weeks. You're back. Come on, you got to come back with a blast.
Yeah, but I need to ease in slowly.
Oh, okay. Welcome to Progressive Soup. My name is David Stevenson. I have my co-host, Gene Hislop. We're going to talk about immigration. And I don't know what we're going to talk about immigration, but it's really kind of getting annoying. Although, in some cases, it's getting to be, people seem to be getting it finally, that immigrants are important to America.
Well, there's always going to be a certain segment of Americans that we always knew were the large, annoying, vocal majority.
Minority.
Wait a minute. Minority.
Yeah.
That's it.
The vocal minority, yes.
There's always going to be those people. And I think that those people will only be content when America is 100% white, unfortunately. However, I believe that there are slowly attitudes changing about immigration. A lot of what I'm going to be talking about tonight is anecdotal evidence. You know, it was short notice. I really didn't have time to prepare or, bring evidence or anything like that.
Oh, so no charts, no graphs?
No charts, no graphs, no articles.
I'm only going to be happy. I will only be happy when all these white people get the heck out of America and give it, and the Indians have it back. And like you had mentioned earlier when we talked today about the T-shirt, which has the two Indians on horseback, and the caption is the original
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security.
They had the 3 Native American war chiefs.
Before, and the other thing about, hey, either learn to speak Arapaho or get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, I don't know that it's so much that people's minds have changed about the legal-illegal argument as they're seeing that economically we need the force that immigrants bring.
You always have. It's been great for America.
There is a tremendous author out there. He does nothing but study this issue, immigrants and the economy. His name is Richard Herman. Mm-hmm. You can find him on Facebook. It's Herman. And he is just a living book of knowledge. And every day I'm reading articles from him. And, he's got published books out there. What people don't understand is if you look at our biggest money-making engines today, Google, Yahoo, list goes on and on, YouTube, they're all founded or co-founded by immigrants. Now, of course, these were people who probably came in on high-tech visas, but they were immigrants nonetheless.
Yeah.
There is a kind of ingenuity and a hunger and a freshness for people who are coming here from less fortunate backgrounds and come to this country because of the opportunities that it provides them for education and safety and such. It creates a drive to succeed and to invent and to pay back. And many of these immigrants have said that. We came to this country, we were given such benefits and freedom that we wouldn't have gotten in our own country, and we wanted to give back. And, that's part of why they have found, cures for diseases and, why they have invented these huge companies that have employed, millions of people throughout history, since their induction, their creation, is because they wanted to give back. And so as we are shrinking the ability for immigrants to come here legally, and as we are deporting those who have lapsed immigration status because the path to legalization is so incredibly narrow and so convoluted, that people may come here perfectly legal and then lapse due to poor actions by a lawyer or paperwork, bureaucracy, and they might lapse in status through no fault of their own, and they have to wind up going back. We are at risk of losing all of this blood into our economy.
Fresh blood, yeah.
And we're denying also, at least on a federal level, Connecticut, thankfully, this week, great victory, seems poised to pass in-state tuition, the DREAM Act. I guess it got onto the Senate or something. It got the approval of the Senate, something like that. But we seem poised to, allow the children of immigrants who are brought here when they were 2 years old through no choice of their own, the ability to study in our universities here in Connecticut.
Well, although there was a very, very poignant and very imaginative speech given by my counterpart in the 107th Assembly District on the floor of the House, in which he talked about how he was so thrilled that the children of axe murderers can actually get in-state tuition, but God forbid that somebody whose the only crime was that their parents are here illegally, that the children should have should be denied the same thing that the children of axe murderers are denied. He just thought that was very, very important that the children of axe murderers get in-state tuition. We should actually have a bill that they wanted to piggyback on the birther bill, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some crazy reasoning somewhere along the line like that. But the fact is, we need to be giving these kids a chance because they have grown up in the American school system. And they have, we have been paying taxes to put them through school all these years. And then to turn around when they're of an age to choose a career path and study that career path and possibly become the person who cures cancer or AIDS or the person who starts up one of these, multi-million-dollar corporations, we kick them out, we refuse to give them
We've trained them to be Americans. We've trained them to give back, to be good, productive, working adults for a long period of time and put a lot of money in to things like Social Security.
Yeah, and
many decades before they get back.
So now's the time for us to collect on that investment, and the way to collect on that investment is to keep them here so that they keep their careers here and they are able to give back and they are able to lead us where we need to go to recover our economy and socially to repair the fabric of this nation. And I think that a lot of people are beginning to see that. When it all comes down to nickels and dimes, when we're looking at our budget and we're looking at the way that we spend our money, that just makes logical sense.
And as I've said many times, we're both of Irish descent, but I'm second generation Irish American. My grandparents came here illegally through Boston and somehow managed to get here and stay here. Raised my parents, my dad, and from there I came into the world. Imagine if my dad had been deported because his parents were here illegally. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
America needs people from other countries.
It does.
And I don't think it's so much that this whole generation of immigrants that are being chastised and vilified are a little darker skinned. I really don't even think it's that. I think it's a natural thing. It's unfortunate, but I think it's a natural thing that every group of immigrants that comes through the door to America are so happy to be here, but the first thing they want to do is shut the door behind them. Okay, we're here. Nobody else need apply. Nobody else need come here.
I see the value in that, but there's definitely xenophobia driving this movement.
I'm sure a little bit,
there's plenty of proof in the language that they use and in the fact that the big argument is, well, we shouldn't have signs in Spanish or I shouldn't hear them speaking Spanish at my job. There have been workplaces that have actually banned the use of the Spanish language on lunch breaks. I mean, coworkers who speak the same language aren't even allowed to sit at the same table and speak in their language together because it might make another coworker feel threatened or left out, which is ridiculous. I mean, I used to use. So
they should feel left out, so that somebody else won't feel left out.
So there's definitely an undercurrent of xenophobia, and it's not even an undercurrent. It's very blatant. I mean, if we can sit here and argue that a lot of the reasons why people hated Obama and why the birther bills were out there was a lot to do with racism, we've got to acknowledge that there's a big problem with racism in our country, and that is definitely fueling the immigration debate.
Don't even get me started on this birther thing, because the funny thing and the irony of the whole thing is that the man who ran against Obama, John McCain, decorated war hero, he was not born in the United States. He was born in the Canal Zone because his father was in the Navy.
Yes.
Now, and nobody made a thing about that, although my friend Dan Carter tried to say that, oh, you people made a big deal out of that. Well, do you know anybody that made a thing out of McCain?
Or? So let's stay
on task.
Yeah. Well, let's make the point there. John McCain is white. Saddam wow.
All right.
Barack Hussein Obama is not. So let's say that definitely there is
a different standard of appearance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what's happening in the immigration debate as well. Yes, there are people who just, are competing for the same low-wage jobs that many immigrants have filled up, and that's part of it as well. But bringing up the way that the economy is changing how people view immigration. Not too long ago, I was on my way to work, and I was waiting for the bus, the Heart bus, down at the Pulse Point, which, of course, as you know, is right across from Kennedy Park.
Sure, yeah.
Kennedy Park is where all the day laborers wait for work. Now, I go down there every Saturday, and I get greeted by people, good morning. Nobody ever says anything rude. Nobody ever, causes any problems. It's just, good morning, and they might say it in Spanish, but most of the time in English, surprisingly.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
And neither am I. But to many people, it would. Anyway, I sat down there, and I looked at this field with probably, we can assume, mostly Ecuadorian and Mexican